Okay, so this is just going to be a quick video on the updating changing advice regarding masks that I've been reading about online. So, yeah, strangely, lots of governments now are now insisting people wear face masks in public, what a surprise. And by that I don't mean necessarily proper respiratory masks, I mean just things like bits of cloth tied around your face. The reason is the quite sensible thing that, basically, if every single person wears a mask that covers both their nose and mouth, if they are coughing or sneezing, basically there's more droplets being caught by the mask itself, so you're shortening transmission vectors and things like that for coronavirus. It would work for most sort of airborne things in general, I guess, or droplet-borne things in general. But sort of, you know, there's obviously been the issue, hasn't there, with PPE as well as this, because there's, as we talked about before, there's been a bit of this strange double standard recently, where lots and lots of countries would say, you know, we need masks for doctors, that's really important, we need to get PPE, you know, personal protective equipment for doctors and all that. But then they were saying masks don't work for the public. And as we all said, we thought, most of us on this channel were sort of thinking, is this just a lack of transparency because they've not got enough masks? Now, basically, how that works is, if the masks do indeed work, but they can't get enough for the doctors, rather than saying, sorry, look, we've not got enough masks or equipment for care staff, we've messed up, we're sorry about that, or we didn't predict this or plan for this well enough, so please don't buy up stocks of masks because it's needed for healthcare workers. I think most people could understand that. You'd still get some people, of course, who just would decide not to follow that advice and still try and sort of hoard masks and things like that. But actual, you know, that would be a bit of truth. But what a lot of governments, I think, ended up doing was saying in this sort of contradictory advice of masks don't work for you, but they do work for doctors or whatever, stuff like that. And I think that's the thing they mentioned in the UK recently, that, oh, as much as the UK was meant to be, you know, really well planned for a viral pandemic, we didn't expect it to be a virulent one. Now that doesn't make sense, does it? Like, we've planned for something, but it was worse than what we planned for. I mean, that's essentially what they're saying, so it means they didn't plan for something all that bad. So anyway, as said, if you've got a mask like this, as we were saying before, you can probably put a cloth or something over the exhale valve, but just having an exhale valve there, simply enough, would be good. You know, like a lot of people have said, you could do DIY, cutting up old rags and things like that to wear as a face mask to at least lower the rate of transmission. It's not necessarily going to do much to protect you, but it will protect other people, and if everybody did it, that would be good. I wear, sort of like a, when I'm out, I normally don't bother with a mask as thorough as this unless I'm in a supermarket or something. I normally use one of my, it's called the Alpha Mesh, I think's the name of it, but it's that, sort of builder's style mask, but it's got two straps, it's got the thing that keeps it tight to your face, and that's because people can hear you through it. Doesn't look very intimidating, you know, so if I'm at the pharmacy once a week, that's normally the mask I wear. But as we've been saying, you know, if you've just got something like this, you know, you could, as much as you don't really want to look like you're robbing a bank or something, you know, you can do stuff like that to at least lower the rate of transmission to you and other people by a bit, which all helps in the, you know, big run. So yeah, I'm not saying, you know, people need to go out and get something as, you know, hefty as this, but that, you know, would certainly, I think, help to a degree. Well, obviously it would because it's protective equipment, but, you know, the point I was getting at anyway is that I think now you're seeing a bit more transparency from a lot of agencies where they are basically admitting it worked, we just didn't plan well enough, which basically did explain the contradictory stuff. Because some people are asking me on here, how come you predicted all this? I really didn't. I'm not trying to claim to be smart at all. It's just, if in theory, you know, on paper all this stuff is meant to work from the beginning, why was it suddenly we being told different advice when government agencies were short on supply of things like this? And interestingly, some of the nations that seem to have been doing better seem to have been ones that have given lots of doctors and frontline staff PPE to begin with. I wonder why. But again, I don't want to sound like I'm political point scoring with these videos, it's just you'd rather that the frontline workers get the gear they need and not excuse after excuse is given for why they don't have it, but there you go.